somebody knows me or they don't know me, it doesn't bother me. I just want to make good music and people like it and they like it. Because I'm just a dude who lives in Brooklyn and makes music. That's the way I look at myself.
Some kid jotting down what he sees on streets of the Gotham. What if it is anything fragile, you hand me, I'll drop them. So I got mounds of broken shit around my feet at the bottom. At the top I got some headaches, some head fucks and some head fakes. Missed dates, a few mistakes.
I mean, music has influenced my life pretty much ever since I can remember. I can't go anywhere without headphones on. It's kind of embarrassing. Sometimes like I'll be in the car and I'll have headphones with me. So I'll be playing the music in the car, and if I get out and have to go like someplace else, I'll put my headphones on so I can walk to wherever I'm going from the car with my headphones in. So I really can't not listen to music. And I've been doing that since I was little. I remember being real young and listening to the Beatles on my cassette. I had like these neon Walkman. Just the sounds of it. It was always like I really connected with the atmosphere.
Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung up.
I didn't even know what I was listening to be honest. I was so young. But I felt something because it was just like the sounds were so dope. Like I grew up listening to so many different genres, but when I was in like 6th grade, I loved Marilyn Manson and all like that creepy shit. That stuff still sticks with me. I tend to lean towards like darker imagery and stuff. If I could, honestly, like I would try to blend the Deftones and hip hop. But again, like it's weird because you have to think about a crowd. And unfortunately, people still are very like, okay, this is this genre and this is this genre, and they can't have a show together. I want to make what I like, you know. If it sounds too commercial, if it sounds happy, you know, whatever. I just like, if I like it, then I'm gonna make it. I got into like hip hop super late for a kid from the city. So I remember my buddy Dan actually gave me this CD and it had Cream on it from Wu-Tang and it had a song by Swollen Members, and I was like, this is different than anything I've ever heard. Like any hip hop, because I wasn't really listening that hard. That's how I got into it, and then I started writing, but I'd always written poetry and stuff like that, so it just seemed like, okay, yeah, I could write it to a beat. So I did that for a while going into college, but I was an athlete, so I was so focused on that. And so I went to school, played hockey for my freshman year, and then got cut my sophomore year. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? And I always used to struggle with like, am I an athlete or am I an artist? And you can be both. Like people aren't just one thing. But I think as a culture, we kind of just like make it that way. You have to act a certain way here and a certain way here, and there's no meaning in the middle. They're definitely two different mind states. Being a competitive athlete, it's not the same as being an artist. Like you can't just roll into a game being like, no, this is cool, this is gonna work, and being all calm. You gotta be kind of like into it, you know, and being pumped up about it. But it's kind of the same mentality though on the flip side, where you have to bust your ass. Like if you want to do and be successful, like you gotta put in the work. You gotta, like, you're not gonna win all the time. I think if I didn't get cut, I wouldn't be rapping right now. Because that's when I really got into it. And I was like, I wanna do this. I wasn't good or anything. All I did was like sit in my dorm room and draw graffiti in my black book and write rhymes. And that was it. Yeah. Like I was that kid. It was easy for me to write about stuff like emotional stuff, because I guess whenever I'm going through something, it's just the way I get it out. Most of the artists that I listen to, there's something going on with them, whether it be in like a moment that they're having, or that it's pretty constant, where you can hear from project to project what they're battling with and how they're dealing with it, or them trying to figure it out. And I think that's what I'm doing. I think I have some level of depression that creeps back in and disappears depending on my mood, I guess. I think I may be bipolar, where like it's usually like super high or it's super low, and
there isn't a lot happening in between. You know what I mean? It's like a very flat kind of purgatory feeling that I get. With Mac Miller, I think that I can see a lot of me in him. And I'm not talking about musically at all. I just think everything was a joke to him. Or everything was like, that's how he kind of like dealt with things. I feel like he was just that bubbly kid and that he was joking around, but he was dealing with some stuff. He knew that he had issues and stuff like that. But he would also, you know, like, he would also kind of like use humor to work through it and get around it. And I think I do that too. And so at the time he died, I kind of felt like I was going in a similar direction as him, and I could see myself doing something like that by accident, not killing myself on purpose, but just, you know, like I said, by accident. Because when you're in a certain state of mind, you don't act the same way. That video that I posted, I got that beat and I just started writing, and it wasn't intentional, but that's what I was feeling after I found out about him passing away.
Yeah. On the verge of collapse, on the verge of a lapse in judgment, I will not plummet. I have not crumpled yet, but I cannot stomach my brain to trust in my guts and my stomach. Yeah, they led me to water, and I drank until I was full. But the liquid with liquor stay full all the time, and I think it's about time that I pull on the trigger. I'm over it, just get over it. They tell me it's not overcast, that's a fact, but I only know what I feel, and I feel like fading to black. Dark times, these dark times, the sign of the times are damage to my mind. I don't know what I'm trying to care, but barely have anything left to spare. At the moment I'm roaming through dips, and it seems like there's no holding on. Succumb to the pressure, I'm folding. Conjecture is pretty soon I'm gonna be gone.
I recorded this one song called Redemption, and I was dealing with another like breakup. This relationship was the most important one that I'd ever been in. And we'd broken up, and I was super caught off guard, and like I was going through a lot of shit, just like emotionally about it and some of the reasons why we broke up, and trying to, you know, run through your head about how you can fix it, you know, how you can make everything better and just go back to the way it was. But I was in one of those lows, and I started writing this song, and it started as what I was feeling, and then I was like, this would be pretty interesting as a story. So I turned it into a story, and where I was somebody who was kind of on the edge of, like, you know, wanting to make a bad decision, and that's how I really was feeling. I was feeling like nobody really understood, and I needed to be away from people. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be around people. But then at the end of the verse, I kill myself. The second verse is me waking up in the hospital, not realizing like that I didn't kill myself. I thought I did. I shot myself, but it didn't work, you know. And then going through that, trying to understand, well, what went wrong.
How is that possible? I pulled the trigger, right? I thought it relieved the pain, fear, and the lack of fight in me, and then there was silence. Just me and you in a room, and pretty soon I was consumed and overwhelmed with guilt, anger, and sorrow that belonged to who? Loved ones, friends and family. The ones I thought wouldn't and couldn't help me with my sanity. You spoke to me, awoken, the me I wished and hoped to be. So I'm in this hospital bed with a mysterious rosary, and I'm praying for the day that the good Lord saves my soul. Lift me up till I'm on my feet again. On my knees, praying for the day that the good Lord brings back.
I knew what I wanted for this song once I got the first verse done, and I went and I found this video that I'd watched years ago about this guy, a suicide survivor, and he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, just feeling so low, and he's like, you know, I'm just gonna do it. And he walked down the Golden Gate Bridge, and I remember him saying,
the millisecond my hands left the rail, it was an instant regret.
and he hit the water, and he said it was the most pain he'd ever been in his life. And the Coast Guard came, picked him up, and they were like, they were shocked that he was alive, because they pull bodies out of the water. They don't pull live people. And so I was watching that and having those emotions run through me as I was trying to craft this song. It just helped me write it. It's definitely a way for me to kind of go through all that without really going through it.
Get those doubts, like, should I even do this anymore? Nobody's really paying attention. I haven't gotten the looks that you're supposed to get or you want to get. Every artist, as they get older, kind of just questions like, all right, when am I supposed to like put this to the side and start focusing on real life? It's tough. People grow up, you watch all your friends, like they're having real lives and getting job promotions and doing that, and like you still have this like thought, like, no, maybe if I keep going, it could happen. Musical journey's just been like full of ups and downs. The highs are really high, even if they seem small to most people. I'll give you a perfect example. My first tour was in the Northeast stuff. That was definitely a validation for me. It was me and One Word and JB Nimble, and it was just, I was the low guy on the totem pole for sure, and I was totally okay with it. I was just happy to be outside of New York City rapping for people who didn't know who I was. You sleep on floors, you sleep on couches. It doesn't even matter because you're doing what you really want to do. People think sometimes that you go on tour and it's this glamorous thing and there's people and there's groupies, and no, like nobody shows up to these shows. Like you can perform for one person or you can perform for a shit ton of people. You're driving hours and hours on end to maybe perform for like locals who don't give a shit about you. Then you come back and tour and it's like, what the hell do I need now? You have all this inspiration from being out on the road and meeting all these really dope artists and stuff. And you come back to like real life where people don't care that you're just on the road. People are like, they don't want to listen to your music and they're not coming to your shows or whatever. Just that back and forth all the time, that's what makes it human. Like everybody kind of goes back and forth in their daily life. Damn, what am I doing kind of thing, and fuck it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And sometimes I think in those moments, that's when you get something really, really dope. At the time that I started writing this record, I was feeling super trapped in the job that I was at and kind of in life, in the spot in life in general. But I think a lot of people are going through that, especially in their mid to late 20s. Like, you do something for a while, and then you're like, all right, well, what am I supposed to be doing? What's next? How do I move from this part of my life to the next part of my life? And I just wanted to like get that frustration out.
I am trapped inside of my thoughts, trapped inside of myself. Got a man for the pill, felt like a favorite for the muscle. They telling me, boy, you better get your hustle on. So I struggle on, trying to perform the shit.
Really what it comes down to is like, I want to create for a living. That's what it comes down to. Like, I don't want to do anything that doesn't involve being creative. Whether it's like drawing or making music or making a beat or editing videos or shooting, like whatever it is, there's no better feeling than like really dialing in and just literally doing what you want to do, like what you dream to do for a living. If I could be an MC for a living, that would be awesome. I'm just trying to like branch out and do as many different things creatively that I can so that I can see if I can really, make a little mark and make a footprint. And whether that's being a rapper or a producer or both or whatever it is, I just want to be able to put myself out there in the form of art. Well, the future is looks pretty legit. I think there's some stuff coming up I know of that is extremely exciting for me, but can't really say anything yet. I'm excited. I can't pretend that I'm not, but who knows?